Hear us out. Hear me out. Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins. That is now the name being discussed at Manchester United. But not just from the last couple of days. This has been a name being discussed at Man United for a hot minute, is what we found out from The Athletic. And Man United are weighing up whether to make a move for Aston Villa's Ollie Watkins on his way to 30. But listen, this guy's getting double figures in the last 5 seasons of the league. He's a fantastic striker, knows what he's doing. You don't have no bedding in period. I'm not going to lie. If the price is right, I'm having him all day. All day. I don't think we're in a position as Man United fans to be turning down quality like Ollie Watkins. It's as simple as that. Now, the price does have to match. I understand that. But goals are a premium. It's the hardest thing to do in football. So Villa are going to try it. There could be some PSR issues there as well. We always know Villa got to spin some plates. But if the deal is right, and I don't think it would take much to convince Ollie Watkins as well. People do this whole, Man United ain't got no Champions League. Tell Ollie Watkins he's going to be the main man on a 4-year deal plus one. Yeah, he's 30. He's 29. You can give him that. You can give him a 4-year deal. Yeah, comfortably, right? Tell him he's the main man. Give him a little bit more wages. He's coming. Sorry, Villa fans. And that's not even a disrespect, but I'm just saying he will move. I've got no doubts about that, but only if the price is right, because Aston Villa, they know how to extract money. They will get there what they want. So let me know, should we be getting Ollie Watkins or should we refrain? Because the decision is expected soon as to whether Man United will or will not try to approach for Ollie Watkins, man. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you lot are new. What's going on with Ollie Watkins?
Yes, let's talk about Ollie Watkins, and also let's click the like button and be sure to subscribe. Already, we've got nearly 600 people watching straight through the door. I can see people already in the chat with a lot of opinions on this one. I mean, it's a Manchester United signing. When don't we have opinions on it? Ollie Watkins was the name that was brought up yesterday. As Felix mentioned in his intro, we have spoken about him several transfer windows, it feels like. I remember at least 2 years ago having a discussion about whether he was good enough for United, etc. So after the reports came out yesterday from The Athletic, Fabrizio Romano did his video yesterday, a bit of a spiel on it. He said, it is true, as reported today by The Athletic, that United made an inquiry for Ollie Watkins. Man United made a call within the last 2 or 3 days to understand the position of Watkins. He is one of the names under consideration at Manchester United, but let's see if United decide to invest in a younger striker or an experienced option like Ollie Watkins. But they made a call to be informed on the situation and the conditions of a deal. The interest in Ollie Watkins from Manchester United is confirmed. If they decide to advance or not, we will see. So you could say, well, that's just, Fabrizio doing Fabrizio things. He said a lot there, but not really said that much in the same time. There's a bit more on it this morning as well, coming from Mark Critchley from The Athletic, from their transfer deal sheet, actually saying, like we just spoke about, that this interest does date back for at least, last 6 months, maybe even longer than that. So Manchester United, according to The Athletic, initially raised the prospect of a summer deal for Ollie Watkins at the end of last season during talks with Aston Villa over Marcus Rashford's future. If Rasmus Højlund departed, this could open the door to a move for Watkins. So it's still very much hypothetical.
Exploratory.
Exploratory, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Look, I remember, I want to say at least 2 years ago, maybe longer. I remember sitting on, it might have been this very show, saying that I'd have Ollie Watkins at Manchester United, and obviously, inevitably, you get the you're not good enough for Man United from Aston Villa. He used to play for Brentford, and then fast forward a couple of years, it's like it is one of those ones. I'd have him, by the way. I'd have him at United because again, we don't have a striker at the moment, so anything is an upgrade over what we've got, right? The bar is very, very low. I do think it is kind of funny though, where it's like, we can't get him, Flex. He's 30. And it's like, should we get Ekatike? No, I can't get him, he's young. But what should we get Gyökeres? He's a bit, 26, 27. I don't know, should we be going for a little bit more experience? And no, just go to someone a little bit basic. We once again don't really know what we want, I don't think, when it comes to a striker. Look, Ollie Watkins' numbers in the Premier League, they do speak for themselves. Are there concerns over the deal? Of course there are. There would be concerns that he is 30 and his game's largely based on playing off the shoulder, pace. Is that going to go anywhere anytime soon? Is he going to be one of those strikers that once they lose a yard, they can't adapt and they stop scoring goals? Or is it going to be one of those strikers that actually, it turns out, didn't really matter that much? The goal scorer is a goal scorer and he still ends up scoring goals. I remember at the Euros just last summer, we were all advocating for him to play instead of Harry Kane because he was offering more to the England side at that point in time. Scored the goal against the Netherlands in the semi-final, and Harry Kane, we were like, get him off the pitch. He's not doing anything. That's Harry Kane, and we'd all have Harry Kane tomorrow at Man United. So I'd have him, but to be honest, Flex, I want a striker that has a good record of scoring goals. That's all I want.
Yeah, and he's got that. He's got that. Yeah. He's got that. And I think we are in that bit of course we have to be careful that you don't go and get, 30, 31-year-old, 32-year-old, big money, big wages. Doesn't work. Why have you done that? But we're also in a position where this position just keeps going horribly wrong for us, man. Like, it does. And the quality in that area now is so low that Ollie Watkins represents something quite unique where I think he gives the perfect balance of stopgap, but with a bit of longevity, but is very good now. Do you know what I mean? I think he ticks like all of the
expectation. So 29. He would score. He would have to come in and hit the ground running. There wouldn't be this like, well, he's got to adapt. That would be the feeling.
Be straight in. And you wouldn't worry about putting an expectation. Go on.
In the chat, Ian says here, and this isn't true, right? He says, I remember when it looked like Arsenal were going to sign him, and the common consensus was he's a bum that wasn't good enough to play one of the big clubs. That is revisionist history, because the reason there was pushback on the Ollie Watkins to Arsenal deal in January was because it was felt like a very performative gesture by Arsenal of like, do they really have the money to get him? Are they really going to sign him? Are they just placating the fan base of looking busy during the January window because they'd just sold Duran at the time, hadn't they, Villa? And they were like, well, they're not going to sell Ollie Watkins in January now. Like, that's not going to happen. So I don't think it was a consensus of, oh, he's not good enough to go Arsenal and score goals. I think Arsenal was if Arsenal fans had got Ollie Watkins in January, they'd have been very happy with that. They've been complaining since January that they didn't get a striker. I think the biggest complaint was that it was like, well, it's a bit performative, wasn't it? Like, and it wasn't their bid like 40 million or something at the time.
Yeah, it was 40 million, and I think
Villa. Everyone was like,
I think Villa did offer him out though.
Yeah, well, they were offering a striker out, weren't they? Because
yeah. So look, I don't think there should be question marks over his ability. Personally, I think we've seen that he's good enough to play in this league, not just play in this league, but do very well in this league. In all the big games, he's active, he's on it. And like I said, Villa, last time I checked, have been one of the better teams in the league for the last few years. He's a top striker, Ollie Watkins, and I still think he is right now. You do have to consider, yes, when their performance might start to dip, look at their attributes, this, that, and the third. But I just think at this point now, if you're saying to me that is an alternative to Victor Gyökeres, a much more attainable target than Victor Gyökeres, I think, like I said, if the numbers are right, I think it's a no-brainer. I do. I do think it's a no-brainer if the numbers are right. Now, like I say, the hardest thing to do in football is score goals. So we can't be out here saying, nah, I only paid 25 million for him. Nah, no, it's 29, mate. I've got no sell-on value, so I'm only giving you 29, 5 in add-ons, 30 package. Get real. You have to get real. Like, strikers in the Premier League that put up the numbers that Ollie Watkins puts up, even though he's 29, they cost more than that. Do you know what I mean? How long has he got left on his deal? Actually, that could come into it. How long has he got left on his deal? 28. So he's got 3 years left. Has he got he got an extension. He only got an extension, a couple of years ago. So contract expires in 28. So he's got the best part of 3 years left. So they're in a healthy position. You know what I mean? Yes, I know he's 29, but like we say, that stick we used to beat 30-year-olds with of like, your career's over. No, especially clever, good strikers. Now, that's the question mark. People are like, what type of striker will he be past 30? Does make a lot of runs. Is fairly quick. Yeah, occupies a lot of centre backs by himself. Yeah. But I don't buy this feeling that his hold up play is not good though. When I see him on the eye test, I think he has a good variation in his game. Actually, that's actually quite what I like about Ollie Watkins. He isn't just the off the shoulder running behind head down. No, he can come to the ball. He can hold the ball up really well. He's got a good touch. Finishing, don't get me wrong. Okay, cool. He might not be the deadliest finisher you're ever going to see, but he knows where the back of the net is. And he gets
assists as well.
Yeah, he gets loads of assists, and he facilitates the team playing better. We got to remember as well. This is in addition to Cunha and let's be honest, Mbeumo. Do you know what I mean? So when you
And
add
also,
that all
Flex,
in,
this is what's crazy
Why do you
about us as
want Ollie
well. We
Watkins? You've got
finished
Rasmus Højlund
fucking
up front.
15th. We don't have a striker. We've got Rasmus Højlund, who we've universally accepted. Like, it's not worked out. We signed Joshua Zirkzee last summer, who we've gone, well, yeah, he's got something to offer, but he's not a striker. And now we're getting linked to strikers, and we're suddenly being picky. I don't know about Ollie Watkins. Remember when we were getting linked to Gyökeres? I don't know. Victor Gyökeres, yeah, number bass, Portugal. I don't know. Osimhen, yeah, but is it going to work out? I don't know. Any one of them is better than what we've got, right? Let's not have ourselves get deluded into this thing of like, no, because then we do let like the ops win of basically going, well, we shouldn't sign anyone then. We shouldn't sign anyone because no one's going to work. Any one of those options there, and this is why I'm open to Watkins, to Gyökeres, to Osimhen. That's why I was open to Delap, because I went, even he is better than what we've got. We've got nothing. Yeah. We've got zero up front. Delap, that's why Delap for 30 million, you go, well, yeah.
It's like we expect to pay nothing as well for anyone.
I'll have that.
Like there can't be any price. Like no price. No, not worth it. Not worth it.
They're all an upgrade of what we've got. So we're not in a position to be turning our nose up like, oh, no. It's like you said, Ollie Watkins, if it was a 3+ 1 year contract, cool. No problem. As long as, again, you can negotiate that contract where there's a bit of wiggle room. So 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line, you're like, maybe it's time now to call it as it is. But 3 years is a long time in football. You can score a lot of goals in 3 years' time. So we as we saw last season, we need goals. We need goals. And if we're being linked to someone for the last however many seasons in the Premier League has scored goals, then yeah, I'll have that. I'll have
his
that.
salary. Because again, you got to look at the type of player you get, like, you know, the caliber and the stature of where he's at. He's currently on 130 grand a week. Do you know what I mean? So he's on bread, like, because he's good. He's the top player. He's on 130 grand a week at Villa. So again, you have to make him come in and make it make sense for us. Obviously, and for him, if we were going to offer him something, what are we saying? You trying to round that to 150? You try to give him a 20 grand a week pay rise? He's coming Man United. He's going to be the main striker. I'll be honest, it probably want a bit more than that. It probably want a bit more than that, I think.
It'd probably be what close. But again, this is the other important thing, but he's 30. So you could make an argument to say that, well, he would probably, if it was a success, he would probably have like one more big contract, maybe, at United, if it was a success. So if he came in and he went, he's on like 180.
But this is his last big move in terms of like
exactly
going to get bought for a lot of money, 40, 50, 60.
That's not the worst. And look, your leading striker should usually be one of the highest paid players.
They're the ones who should be getting it.
As long as it's not, 300 or something ridiculous.
No, it's never going to be that. But I think it would be that between 150 and 180. I'll be honest. It probably would be good.
I wouldn't complain that much with that because if Victor Gyökeres came in, he'd be probably earning more than 150, 180. He'd want big money.